I'm James from Chase Superbike Centre in Cannock, and I've got my leathers on because it is a very exciting day. It's one of the Bike Attack Tuesdays at Three Sisters in Wigan. I'm really excited for today because not only do I have my shiny new HJC helmet that I picked up from work last week, I'm also waiting for my mate Dave to turn up. Dave is a good friend of mine and a very good tattooist, and he is bringing his Busa with him. And I'm going to have a bit of a go on the Busa on the way up to get a feel for the bike. And then when we get to Three Sisters, he said, as long as I'm super careful, I can take it around the track. Let's watch. So here we are taking a Busa out on track. I've had a quick go on it on the way up. Just a quick disclaimer, this is not my Busa, so I'm being very careful with it. It's also got a fresh rear tyre, so it's not broken in properly yet. It's slippy as hell, and I'm going very careful. I'm not going to make any overtakes, I'm not going to drag my knee, I'm just going to sort of pootle around and try and get a feel for being on, one of my all-time favourite bikes. I really should have owned one by now, to be honest. I have a Hayabusa symbol tattooed on my right arm as part of the Japanese sleeve, because a Hayabusa is more than just a bike, it's a cultural symbol of that sort of early noughties street squid. And what I love about Busas is, they're effectively unchanged. They're a little bit like an apex predator in that sense. That, they did all their evolving a long time ago, like a crocodile, and haven't really needed to change since then because they're just sat there, at the top of the food chain in their environment. And really, that's what the Busa is. Suzuki got this right 27 years ago, and they haven't changed it. I guess in that sense, it's a modern retro. I bet that's going to annoy a few people in the comments, but it's designed to look exactly the same as the original one, which is now a 27-year-old design, right down to things like the analog clocks rather than sticking on a soulless modern TFT display, which is what you would have expected Suzuki to have done by now, but thankfully they haven't. We've still got that beautiful kind of Busa dash that I remember seeing on the internet all those years ago when I was a spotty teenager. So I'm chasing Dave. Dave's on my GSX having a laugh. Dave can afford to be a little bit bolder with my GSX than what I can with his Busa, because this Busa is probably worth at least twice what my GSX is. Also, my tyres are nicely scrubbed in and this one isn't. So this is a lot of bike for a little track like this. It's 270-ish kilos, so out the same as my GSX. But I'm using not even all of second gear, coming down this back straight that we're coming up to. Hey, little 125. I was chatting to him in the car park. He's got a little Benelli TNT 125 that he's brought out for a laugh. And that's the wonderful thing about these track days up here at Three Sisters in Wigan, is you will see a Busa and a 125 on the same track at the same time. Sometimes you see adventure bikes. I've even seen a Harley Sportster going around here. It's just absolute madness. So yeah, the Busa, it's like a very kind of cultural icon now, and I just love the presence that this thing has. Just on the M6, car drivers were looking at me going, "Oh, it's a Busa," because even non-bikers know what a Busa is a lot of the time. And sat in the pit lane, it's almost got this gravitas to it that you don't get from a lot of other bikes. And I guess it's kind of because it's kept true to that original Busa aesthetic, and kind of everyone on the road today that's my age will have grown up being a spotty teenager with a poster of a Busa on their wall at some point. And I'm not, they say never meet your heroes, and I'm not in any way disappointed, by this bike. This is exactly what I expected it to be, an insanely powerful, fairly comfortable, big, heavy Busa of a bike. I think the only thing that's surprising is just kind of how much I'm actually enjoying it. I didn't expect to be getting on with it, this well. My only real gripe So I'm just getting a little bit of pain in my wrists from the bars being so low. But then I'm still very much recovering from that nasty wrist injury that I got from riding that parallel twin. So far that's still my most popular video, from where I went on a rant about why I don't like parallel twins. And the comment section filled up with people telling me that their Z650 and whatever doesn't vibrate at all, which is complete rubbish. Bikes vibrate. If you've got two pistons next to each other creating a rocking couple, it's going to vibrate even more. Even though this Busa is absolutely silky smooth, you know, you've still got the vibration of the tread pattern on the tarmac and things, haven't you? But yeah, the slight discomfort in my wrist is just, it's a little bit wristy. I just sat a little bit far forward. On the M6, that was just really annoying, but you know, on track, it kind of feels cool, you know, to be in that slightly sporty position. It's not as punishing as a super sport, but you know, it is definitely a bit wristy. Also appreciating where the foot pegs are, they're nice and high and slightly rear set. So again, it's not uncomfortable for, you know, my old knees, but you know, it is sporty. So I'm still sat behind this Triumph. You know, I've decided I'm not going to try and overtake. A little bit quicker than him on my bike, I'd just kind of make a bold move, you know, and try and you know, get the drive coming out the corner and get around him, or really late brake and squeeze my way in front of him that way. But like, I don't really want to do anything that could put this bike at risk, because it is very nice. The last thing I want to do is say, oh, can I have a go on your Busa, mate, and then chuck it into the nearest gravel trap. That would be a big move. So yeah, I'm just being careful, just enjoying being on the bike, and hoping that there's some nice photos happening. I'm really glad that Julian Sawfleet, the photographer, managed to come out today, because you know, riding a Busa, like, I wanted one of these from when I was about 13 years old. Then I turned 17, wasn't allowed a bike, and I guess I kind of overreacted a little bit, because now I'm on a Busa, you know, which is the king of the bikes. But you know, I just really hope that there's some nice pictures being taken, so that I've got some memories of the day. Because it is quite special, isn't it? It's not every day that you get to take an absolutely gorgeous Busa round the usual track. Out on the Triumph's doing alright, isn't he? He could just be a little bit quicker. Just wave that supermoto past me, you know. Not interested in doing a battle with you, mate. Supermotos are so quick round here. I don't even try and you know, hop them off. I just move over. No, you go first. You're quicker than me by a long way. I got my knee down here on my GSX earlier. I'm not even trying that on the Busa. Like I said, fresh tyre, you know. And the problem is, when you lean a bit further than what you leant before, you're on fresh rubber again. So it takes a little while to scrub in a tyre. You know, we're not going to have time to do that today. So I think I'll make that my last lap. Getting a bit of a queue behind me, where I was sat behind that lad on the Triumph. I'm not insulting you, mate. You're not slow by any means. But you know, last thing I want now is to be on a great big Busa as part of a traffic jam, because then, you know, a lot of overtakes are going to start happening. And like I said, it's a very precious, special bike, this, so I'm just going to get out of the way and park up and chill out for a minute. Whilst Dave's still out on my GSX. I'm thinking if I park up over by Luna, then I can watch Dave come past. It's always a bit weird watching somebody else ride your bike. It's even weirder when it's on track. But Dave's a very good rider, I trust him. And there we go. Right, so I've just taken this Busa around the track, and it is far too much bike for a little track like this. I had the traction control on, which is quite unusual for me. Dave asked me to turn it on, and it's his bike, so I thought probably better. And the traction control light was just flashing constantly. Incredible bike though, brakes are amazing. It's not too risky for something that's this sporty. Changes direction quite nicely. But when you watch the video, just be aware that, you know, it isn't my bike, so I was taking it super easy. Every time a bike came up behind me, it's like, yeah, just go past me, mate. Because, you know, I don't want to go getting into battles on a fairly new, very nice Busa. So that's about everything for today. So I'm probably going to do a couple of more sessions on my bike and then call it a day. Thanks for watching. Right, so I've begrudgingly handed the keys to the Busa back to Dave, and we've gone back out for our third and final session of the afternoon, and we're having a little bit of a game of cat and mouse here. So I've started in front of Dave and Dave's chasing me, and you can't see my mirrors, but he is kind of hot on my heels. I've got a lot more experience at this track than what Dave does, but Dave is a very, 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 very good rider, and also he's on a Busa. He hasn't scrubbed in the rear tyre properly yet, but you know, a Busa's still a Busa, right? Nice thing here is there's nothing in front of me, so I can really get the hammer down. And the goal is for Dave to try and overtake me by the end of the session. So red flag. And I'm panicking a little bit because I can't see Dave in my mirror anymore. I'm thinking, oh, what if he's fallen off behind me? You can't really see because it's chest rig, but I'm kind of like looking around the track trying to see who's gone down and where. There's red flag now, you just ride back to the pit straight. And now I can see the bike that's off to the side of the track there. I think he's had a mechanical rather than fallen off. A little bit of sigh of relief that Dave's still upright and that nobody else was hurt. Me, could you?
You was enjoying that, were you?
Shall I chase you?
You want it? Yeah.
Pull that bounce to me then.
Another one here, wasn't it?
Huh? Yeah, GPZ, I think it was a mechanical. Run after you, Dave. So I'm now thinking, right, try and get past Dave. And I kind of know where Dave's quite good. Before this session he said that, oh, he knows where I'm quick and where I'm slow and he's going to be able to overtake me. The thing is, Dave's actually pretty quick everywhere, except the Coward Summit. So now coming through here in the S's, I know I've got no chance here. So I'm trying to keep close to him, but I'm not making the move to try and overtake just yet. And you see just even that little straight, just how he can pull away from me with all that power. Luna, and we got some cracking pictures. I'll probably just overlay them, and then look, he's just disappearing down that straight there, trying to find a way around him on the inside, but no, I'm thinking, right, this is where I'm best at this track, because I know exactly where I need to accelerate there, and I'm round him, giving him a little bit of a finger, just for a laugh. He took that in good humour. A little bit wide through that right-hander there, so I was off my line from where I've made an overtake. And then all I've got to do now is just hold him off till the end of the session. At this point I am knackered, I'm drenched in sweat. My wrists are absolutely killing me. So I'm just like, right, just keep it pinned, just keep that pressure on, keep the pace up. A couple of laps and then we'll see the flag. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like looking in the mirrors and there's a Busa nipping at your heels. It's such an intimidating bike just to look at. Got away from him a little bit there. So bike's come up quite quick behind me and overtaking Dave. It's that little 125, I'm just going to let that fast boy in front of me. And then I'll go past the 125 on the straight. And that's the checkered flag, so that's the end of the session. Now a case of sitting upright, doing the cool down lap. See Dave in the mirror there, so I'm leaning over through the corner. Unfortunately we didn't get any pictures of the two of us on the track together. We both gave a thumbs up at the same time to the photographer there. The thing is with track photography, it's very, very difficult because you've got to be zoomed right in and pan, you know, effectively. So out of 1,000 shots you'll maybe get one good one. So it's not like, you know, you can consistently get a picture of us every lap. You know, photography on track days, it just does not work that way. But I'm very happy with the pictures that we got. And then we're back into the pit lane and we're going to drink some water and jump on the M6 and go home. So that was the day, first time on a Busa, really enjoyed it. Really glad I've got a track day friend to go do track days with. We're on about booking Donington at some point as well. And I think it's Tuesday we're back up there, so I'll probably just upload the footage from the sessions, because why not? I've got a GoPro. Thanks for watching.